I'm AJ Kulatunga, and on this week's episode of Welcome to Monday, we're looking at how do you implement ideas within an organisation. Welcome to Monday Entrepreneurs. Thrilled to have you here with me as we stir up trouble amongst the status quo. So one of the most important skills that you can develop as an entrepreneurial thinker is your ability to influence others. And that's really easy to do if you've got an amazing personal brand or if you've had 30 years experience in doing stuff. But could you go into an organization and get the executive to fall in love with your idea enough to implement it within their organization? That's the million-dollar question that we're going to answer in this week's episode. So a couple of weeks ago, I met probably one of the world's best-kept secrets. His name's Ross Medina, and he's an amazing professional with a marketing and communications background. And we were chatting together about all sorts of stuff, and Ross just casually mentioned what he's achieved within the organization within just a few months. And I was deeply curious as to how he's done the impossible. Because let's face it, when you go into a traditional organization with fresh thinking, 9 times out of 10, the person going in there thinks he's all that or that just wants to push through ideas, and they end up causing a lot of conflict, and a lot of the time they don't actually complete their engagement. But Ross has been there over a year. He seemed to have some sort of a magical formula that actually allows him to go in there and achieve influence. So I just had to catch up with him to find out exactly what he did, how he did it, and what insights could I take away for all of you who might be in the same position and wanting to implement ideas within an organization. So let's check out the interview for his amazing insights.
Hey entrepreneurs, it's AJ. I'm really excited to introduce to you Ross Medina, he'll tell you what he does exactly, but he's one of the smartest people I've met here during my time in Brisbane because he actually thinks like an entrepreneur in how he rolls out through life. So Ross, do you want to give the entrepreneurs a bit of a spiel of what you do?
Yeah, thanks for the intro. I've never had an intro like that. Awesome. Look, so I'm the state manager for ACS. So
what's ACS?
So Australia Computer Society.
Yep.
So we're an organisation representing the IT industry and professionals throughout Australia. So my role is based here in Queensland, very locally based in the sense of what we do is all for Queensland.
Yeah, cool. Awesome.
That flows from a national level.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. So one of the things that really sort of struck me about Ross is that your background is marketing and communications,
media
right?
comms.
Yeah. So you've ended up as a state manager of this organisation. How was that transition? How did that come about?
I was looking to get more experience in just marketing. I got to the point where I'd done what I wanted to do with the marketing. I felt without going into higher levels, I was more business focused.
Yeah, right.
What I got to the point with, because I did so much in the marketing space, it got to the point where you would actually influence business more. So that's when I said, well, okay, maybe I can take those skills and have more of a business management focus.
Yeah,
and that's what this role is. And then I thought from a career perspective, it opens up more doors because you're not a marketer, you're actually a business manager.
Exactly right. Yeah.
So that was kind of the strategic decision
that's
I made.
And what did you? So where do you get this drive of business? Because your way of style of thinking is really incredibly entrepreneurial. So where did you develop that?
Last time when we spoke, I didn't actually tell you. I finished an art degree and moved down to Brisbane within 6 months. And
So where did you move down from?
Townsville. I was based in
Townsville
Townsville for a bit.
Yeah,
I did uni there. And
wow. Were you born in Townsville?
No.
So where are you from
Born
originally?
in Melbourne.
You're a Melbourne guy. Melbourne guy. Represent. Cool.
And then I finished uni and wanted to start a clothing label. So I moved down here.
Hang on. You started a clothing label.
Yeah. I had it for 4 years. I was selling in the city. I never told you this.
What the hell, man?
Yeah. And that's
my God.
when I drove away from you, I thought, that's probably where I get it from. That whole thing, because I appreciate my money. I appreciate any money more so now than because I've had to spend my own.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And going through these decisions and processes and thoughts, risks, and backing yourself. Yeah, that's probably where it comes from. I should have told you.
Mystery solved. Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. So so you're in Townsville, right? You're going to uni there. You moved down to Brizzy. You got into marketing. Why marketing?
Oh, actually, I opened my clothing label. I had it in the stores for 4 years, loving it, making a bit of cash on it.
Wow.
I just could never get it to the next level. I didn't have the skills.
Why not?
Because I didn't know marketing. and I didn't know business.
Right.
And then I went and I got a job at City Beach, one of the retailers. Ran a skate level for 12 months, and then went, no, marketing's where I want to go. I absolutely love it. It's engaging. It's where the connectivity happens in a business.
Yeah, you're right. It's all about that human connection, isn't it?
That's where it all happens. So then I've just pursued that as a career, and then now I've got to that point I want to go more business. And I'd love to have my own business again at some stage. But
we'll get them out again. All right.
But it was nice to go through those thoughts and to to be able to back yourself and put your money where your mouth is. And I think that's why I've got more confidence in what I can do and my ability now, because I've had to back it.
Yeah. So one thing I really want to capture from you today is that that's how he's got the entrepreneurial mind. But the way you think is incredibly entrepreneurial. But you've essentially entered into an organization, a large organization, right? And you're implementing entrepreneurial ideas within that organization, right? So how have you been able to do that? Because I know a lot of entrepreneurs, they go into an organization and they lose that creativity, or they become frustrated and they exit, How have you managed to navigate that change and achieve results? Because what you're doing here in a few months is truly just blown my mind. Like, wow. Stakeholder management. Right. So talk to us about stakeholder management.
Look, it's the ability to be able to drive your ideas through the business and execute.
Okay. So when you say through the business, what do you mean by that?
Okay, so there's so many strategic decisions that need to be made when it's new ideas in a business.
Yep.
There's financial, there's marketing, there's CEO's decision. Is it strategic aligned with the business? All of these.
So these are the hardcore business decisions
from the different departments usually that are all going to have a say in what you're doing. If it's costing money, if it's impacting on revenue, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You've got to massage it through the business. You can't just set and forget, and you can't just go, I'm going to do this great idea, go and say it to everyone, and it happens. And it's not always going to happen the way you envisaged it. You've got to compromise.
So you've got to be flexible.
You have to be, because I can't. As much as I could go to the CEO and say, this is how we've got to do it, if his opinion is different and he's on board with it, but we need to adjust it, well, you need to accept that, and you need to trust their decision. So it's all about trust too.
It is, How do you find to not engineer, but basically get people to trust you and your abilities? How did you find navigating that challenge?
Build relationships. It takes time. It starts the day you get in the door. You build relationships with people. You get things done easier.
Yeah. See, one really interesting thing about you and how we communicate is I've only known Ross for like a couple of weeks, right? Yeah, pretty much. 3 weeks, and I saw him. We spoke at a conference together, and I sent him a message on LinkedIn. And this is why it's just from the moment I met you, I'm like, this guy's neck level, like seriously. The moment I met you, he wrote back to me and he used punctuation like an exclamation mark in his first message, right? So he's got energy, he's got drive, and that's how I read that. So I'm like, okay, something so simple, right? But that's how I look at it, because unlike you, I'm very closed off, right? You cannot get access to me unless, it's just a whole bunch of other stuff, right? Whereas you're more open, as we spoke about this before. So for me, I'm very closed off. So all I said was I want to connect with him because he looks incredible on paper. Let's see what he's like. And so I sent you a message. I sent you a message, and you came back with, "Hey AJ, you're bright, bubbly." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Let's see how this pans out." And from the moment I walked into your session, you've just gone, "This is a guy I want to hang out with." And I think that's probably how you actually, like, a big part of what you do here and how you've achieved results, because you're that guy that is really open, friendly, but you also have subject matter expertise. Right, and that is an incredible combination for unlocking stakeholder management. And one of the biggest mistakes that I see in organizations is that the entrepreneur will come and go, I'm the entrepreneur, I've got subject matter expertise, it's my way or the highway, Whereas, and you used the term before, massage the idea. That's incredible, man.
You have to. I've worked in bigger organizations. I worked for News Corp for 5 years. So, getting something through that business was a massive challenge, and it makes you learn that it teaches you all those lessons around, you can have the great ideas, but if you don't get them through the business and you don't get buy-in all the way through, you could launch it, but as soon as you launch it, you'll have 10 different people with other ideas that weren't included, that weren't considered, that it's probably not aligned with, or that it's contradicting something else. And that's where the troubles arise. That's where the lack of trust comes from, because you haven't had the courtesy to take it through the business the right way. And that's probably more so what it is a courteous thing. So, you know, you're relying on the expertise within the business to guide you through it. And that builds a relationship, because you're trusting, you're vulnerable, you're open. And, you know, at the end of the day, everyone likes to contribute and feel part of it. And that's what it's about too. It's not what I can bring in the business, it's what the
we can
business
build together.
Because that builds a bigger team internally.
That's like collaboration model, isn't
Completely.
it?
You have to collaborate, but it's vice versa. There's sometimes it has to go in this way because of X, Y, and Z. But then you'll go, okay, but if we did this, is that going to keep what you need? Is that going to deliver what you need? And I go, all right. It might just be a slight tweak.
So a lot of negotiation too. Wow.
A lot of negotiation.
So let's say, for shits and giggles, I wanted to go into an organisation, and implement an idea. What would be some of my first steps for doing that? Let's say I come in and I want to implement entrepreneurial thinking. How would I do that?
I get buy-in from the top straight away.
Straight to the top?
Straight to the top. Like if at the end of the day, if the top says it's okay, the rest have to listen. If you go up a little bit, there might be pushback, because it's they're busy. They need to. They've got a job to. It's not in budget. All these other excuses that can come from
barriers.
And I just go. You get buy-in from the top, and they might say, you need to consider X, Y, and Z, and please have a discussion with these people.
Right.
Beautiful.
So would they be open with you and telling you that?
Who's that?
Like the top level management. No. Yeah. So you got to massage
you play
that
the
around.
game.
You play the game.
And it's not being unethical by all means. It's just Chinese whispers. You want the top to hear it from you, so that you know it's your idea and you're driving it through the business. You've got to get some credit for what you do, but also that you want to hear their opinion first before everyone else gets to it.
See, that's gold. Getting their opinion first.
Getting their opinion first. Off the raw idea is critical, because usually they'll guide you through the business like that. So that's all amazing. The other stuff that you probably would have been running around in circles trying to get across the line, they'll just go do this, and this, and they'll even generally have a conversation or CC in the people that need to be involved, which creates buy-in, right? And like they say, if it's you don't get buy-in from the top, how's it going to come down? So go to the top.
The one lesson, and people always throw that term around, go to the top, right? But what you said just then just blew my mind, because it's just you're seeking their opinion. So if I wanted to take entrepreneurial thinking into an organisation, you've just given me like the silver bullet now. Say, what's your opinion on this? And then you just shut up and listen. And then and hopefully if I'm friendly like Ross, they'll tell me what I need to know and who I need to. Mate, that's gold.
And look, they'll might even tell you there's no point. And if they say it, respect it. Fair enough. But don't ever let that "no, you can't do it" stop you. I mean, my CEO said no to more than he has said yes. But you know what? He knows me for someone that will come to him with new ideas, will try things, will be brave. But I'm risk adverse when I do them. I'm commercially focused, and he knows I've got the right. I'm going about it the right way for the business. Even if it's a no, just that process in itself is a really, really strong relationship.
And that's incredibly valuable too, because you're not exactly going to him, hey boss, what about this idea? It's like, hey, this is what I've thought about very seriously, and this is how we would implement it if you're interested. Here's, what's your opinion?
And I think you've just also said how you do it. You don't go to them and say, I've got this idea, what do you think? You go to them and just say, this is my idea, I've scoped it out, X, Y, Z, where I'm stuck is here, what are your thoughts, and how would we go best about going through the business?
That's
and
gold.
You can't expect them to do the work for you. And that's the thing, you have to do the work.
You've got to do the heavy lifting.
They just go, yep, done, tick, 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 tick. No, right? If you go to, and that's every step of the way. you can't just send it to someone and say, here's my idea, scope it out and send me when you're done. No, you've got to do it. So
do the heavy lifting.
Exactly. You've got to put the work.
That's amazing, man. That's absolutely amazing. You just blow my mind again. Like, I swear to God, this guy, seriously.
Oh, geez, this guy, he's onto it, eh?
Wow. All right, so mate, give us some tips. Three best tips on how to do stakeholder management to implement ideas within an organisation. So for all you entrepreneurs, and I hate the term entrepreneurs, I think you're just different thinkers. Language, just language. Look, if you want to implement an idea within your organisation, here's what you need to do. Ross, what are your 3 tips, man?
Build relationships, compromise and adjust, and communicate. Look, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what the idea is, it's how you go about it.
Amen.
And then honestly, you can do that through any area of the business, to every level. You've just, that's how I do it. You asked me how I did it, and I had to sit there for an hour and think, well, how do I do it? And just do it.
Just do it,
But once you go through that process, and you do actually have to think about it as you go for the first few times, but it'll just be natural, and you'll just know. And I can go now. I can go, right, I've got to go to that person, and then I'll get through. Like, I can get things through the business now in 3 steps. Because I know who to go to, I know the right conversations to have, I've got the relationship with them. And if they say no, they've said no, and I've come back and gone, I've made the adjustments you said, what do you think? And they go, seems like a good idea, right? That's it. It's listening as well to that.
And they've got, the flip side is you have to have leadership confidence in yourself as well. You know? That's huge.
You've got to back yourself. And you got to, hey, you've got to make it work. You've got to deliver. If you're going to, that's the thing, is if you're going to bring big things into the business, it's good to get noticed, it's good for your experience and stuff, but don't just get them through the business, you've got to deliver on them.
Damn straight.
If you don't deliver on them, it's catastrophic, I think. Because you've done all that work to get it to a point where it's embedded in the business, and then you go switch off the key. No. So that's one part. Then you've got to drive it, and then you've got to monitor it, and you've got to report on it, and you actually got to do the full cycle. And then once it's in the business as BAU, you can step back a bit and let people do their own thing with it. Because it's the thing too with our states. Every state runs differently because every state's different. Right?
Of course.
Right? So we've got to adapt to that. So what I do here is going to be different to New South Wales. So if we're implementing something, we need to have that in mind, that it is what it is, but there needs to be flexibility in what we do, so that other people can adapt it to the way they need. And that's critical.
Just that collaboration model too, and it's huge, mate. Huge, mate. You blow my mind. Thank you so much, guys.
No worries.
You're a
Thank
legend.
you. Appreciate your time.
All right, entrepreneurs, there you go. And Ross, they can connect with you on LinkedIn if required. And we'll throw up all Ross's details there. But thank you so much, mate. You blow my mind and added value to you guys. All right, entrepreneurs, have a great week. I will see you next time. Peace out.
See you later.
So there you go, entrepreneurs. An amazing interview with just a great guy. And I'm looking forward to working with Ross and his team to take his level of influence to the next level using entrepreneurial thinking. So I hope that interview inspires you to actually play a bigger game if you're in the business of talking to organizations and selling your products and services, or if you're within an organization as an employee and just need to implement ideas within the traditional hierarchy of your organization. I'm AJ Kulatunga. Thanks for watching this video, and whatever happens in business and in life, I wish you nothing but success. Take care.